to contest the ICO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. First to the ring, fighting out of the ABMA Kickboxing Gym in Ireland, Aidan Brooks. Next to the ring, fighting out of the Combat Academy in Barnsley, England, in conjunction with the USKA Fight Factory in Birmingham and the original Jester's Gym in Matlock, Derbyshire, Mick Crossland!
Brothers out there flaking and perpetrating, but scared to kick reality. Like Dre, you've been doing all this dope producing. You had a chance to show me what time it is. So what you want me to do?
Capabilities, and now I'm moving in correctional facilities. Cause some don't agree with how I do this. I get straight meditate like a Buddhist. And drop the flavor, my behavior is hereditary. But my technique is very necessary. Blame it on Ice Cube, because the setting is funky. When you got a subject and a predicate, add it on a dual beat, and it'll make you think. Something that's tricky.
This is 12 two-minute rounds of action for the professional ICO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. In the red corner, wearing blue with the white trim, tipping the scales at a lean 77.5 kg, and fighting out of the ABMA Kickboxing Gym in Ireland, bringing a full contact record of 20 fights, 14 wins and 6 losses. The IKF Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Aidan Brooks! In the blue corner, wearing black and white trim, weighing in at already 77.9 kg, and fighting out of the Combat Academy in Barnsley, and in conjunction with the USKA Fight Factory in Birmingham, and the original Jester's Gym in Matlock, Derbyshire. He brings a full contact record of 24 fights, 20 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw. He is the current ICO and ISKA British Champion, and he is the People's Champion, Mick Crossland! Can we please ask you to stand and be respectful for both national anthems? First, with the national anthem of Ireland. Yes, Andrew, I've got a long history with Mick Crossland, done some drinking in Brighton and places like that, and he has been around, he's paid his dues, and you really feel for him. And as I said, you don't want to show bias here, but as a man, he's done his time in this game, as we said, 22 fights, 19 wins, and he's been around, known, likeable, modest. But let's not take anything away from Aidan Brooks, the Irish champion, 37 years of age as well, very similar record. This could be a very tough fight for Mick.
Absolutely, absolutely indeed. And it's all about how Mick settles into his style, and let's see how he fights. I'm very intrigued. I'm sure his technique won't be as terrible as mine with my hands by my waist, but...
And again, it's worth noting that everything else tonight has been amateur. Our title's been over 5 rounds. These men are going to go potentially 12 rounds for the professional title. Just how do you adapt to that difference, Andrew?
It's difficult, you know. Sometimes you can put the pressure on early to make it easier in the later rounds. Sometimes you take it easy. But Mick making good work there. All depends on the fight, you know. I've had 12-round wars, and I've had 12 rounds where I've you know, kept it smooth to the 8th and then stepped it up, so...
Well, as I said, there is the first of potential 12, so they'll have a good look at each other. Huge support here for Mick Crossland. As I said, a very popular man indeed.
Absolutely, and he's got low left hand, but he can bring that up. I've seen him use jumping left uppercuts. There we go, jumping left hook. There, right hand. He felt that. Nice jab.
Yes, nice combination from Crossland, starting early. The legs came across, then the hands afterwards. But I said too well.
Beautiful.
Doesn't get much better than that, Andrew. The timing, perfect. Took his man off his feet. Looks to his corner as well.
That's very nicely done. Very impressive me so far. Good round kicks. You've got to dig them in early. Take the wind out of him. It's a 12-round fight. Make sure that by the time he gets to round 8, there's nothing left. Good footwork. His hands are low, but he's relaxed. He's making sure he uses his left before his right. Everything, absolutely nothing wrong with anything Mick's doing whatsoever.
And as you said earlier, and it applies to the pros as well, what he's subtly doing is making Aidan Brooks fight his fight. He's in the centre of the ring, he's doing what he wants, and Brooks is falling in with it at the moment, isn't he?
Absolutely. It's down to Brooks to try and break his rhythm, but it's hard, you know. He's an unorthodox guy, that's why. So am I love unorthodox fighters. I love seeing something a little bit different. You know, Aidan's much more traditional, has his hands tucked up. Mick's got to be careful in the corner.
Well, it was a glancing blow, but it was a strong glancing blow, and Mick's putting his gum shield back in. He's taking the 8 count, but from such a start, this is the cruelty of kickboxing. Brooks chopping right hand. It seemed to skim to me, but it was the jaw.
I did say you got to be careful in the corner. Brooks is going to go for him now. If he can survive the round, he'll be fine. Okay, well done. Yeah, I did say you have to be careful in the corner. That's the only thing with unorthodox styles I know better than anyone. When your hands are down, you've got to watch out for the corners. You can't end up there for too long.
So what you've had 1 minute 50 seconds of Crossland total control, then an 8 count because of a right cross that landed.
Mick's hands are a little bit higher now, but Aidan still isn't really pushing it. So,
no, sometimes, I said, this is the professional element. Sometimes you can rush, so keen to get the win that you can be exposed yourself. And as I said, these are two professionals in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
He'll be aware that he's hurt Mick, but as you said, he's not rushing in to finish the job.
Two big swings, neither connected.
It's a good job, because for either fighter that could have turned it literally on their head, and they've got to be careful here, because this is the exciting thing about this. At the weight, they're both going to be banging.
Absolutely.
Whereas at lighter weights you can get away with more mistakes. You can't get away with so many at this weight.
You're telling me. I've got the titles at 81 and 85, so I'm only a touch heavier than these guys.
And in subconsciously, are you always aware of that, Andrew, the thought that, you know, that punches can suddenly just change a fight on its head?
Yeah, absolutely, you know, and Good left hook. He just swung it a little bit too much. But yeah, absolutely. You know, as far as fighters go, I have the least guard of anyone. My hands are literally by my waist. I have absolutely no defensive structure whatsoever. And it does give you advantages and it gives you disadvantages. And you know, you just got to train for it and make sure you train and spar the way you fight and you get used to it.
Now you saw Brooks wanted to come in there and wanted to test the chin with that right hand again, but he's still a bit wary, isn't he?
He does respect Mick, and he has to, because Mick does have a good knockout record. You know, he hits hard. Both these men hit very hard. Neither of them want to make silly mistakes. I think Mick's obviously feeling this round out after the first one.
Yes, it makes sense to get yourself back in it. He knows it's 12 rounds, clearing his head. The longer the round goes on, the clearer his head will become, the more things will come back to him. And I think this is why for Brooks, I'd just like to maybe just push a little bit more and test while he's still got the advantage from that.
If I was in Brooks' position, I would have pushed the fight. I would have pushed the fight a lot more than that. But he didn't. You know, he respects Mick. And it's hard to push against an unorthodox fighter that's bouncing in and out, you know. If Mick wasn't in the corner, that shot never would have hit him. As long as he stays out the corners, I think he'll be fine.
Which would be happier at this moment in time?
Well, I think, you know, Aidan's corner are telling him, you're ahead, just don't do anything silly, don't walk onto anything. But, you know, he may have given that round away because he didn't throw very much at all. So I think both of them are going to have to try and step it up a little bit now. I'd like to see Mick as comfortable as he was in the first. You know, he was throwing his combinations, everything was well. He's just a little bit, just left himself in the corner for that tiny bit too long.
Yes, it was just a single shot. It wasn't from a flurry or a combination, and he hadn't been under pressure previously in the round.
Get his rhythm back.
So they're exchanging midsection kicks.
Well blocked.
Brooks taking that centering, but as we said, cautious going. That's nice. Sets it up with the hand, the midsection kick, and as you said, over 12 rounds, that will take its toll.
Very nice. He needs to do it again within 10 seconds. You give him 10 seconds, it doesn't hurt anymore. You need to do it again straight away.
Now that for me is when you get the hands up like that with the left and right, you've got the safety to bang in the right roundhouse afterwards.
Absolutely right. Good side kick.
There's that unorthodox neck.
Beautiful, beautiful left uppercut. I told you Crossland had a lead left uppercut. I told you it was dangerous. Textbook.
And again, thrown from such an unorthodox angle. He switched to the left, switched to the right, then threw the uppercut. It's all over.
And
it's all over.
Amazing, amazing.
Andrew, talk us through that shot. I mean, it wasn't thrown again, it was thrown from an unorthodox angle and it landed flush on the chin. That was the difference between the two shots.
I've seen him do it before. And it's beautiful because he keeps his left hand low. So you can't normally throw it because you'd see the left hand drop and then it come up. His left hand's there already. He comes in, he jumps with all his legs, all his body weight, straight up into that left hand. It hits you on the chin and you don't see it coming. It is good night. It's a beautiful shot. It's a shot I've only seen him do. There's probably one person in the world who does it better, and he's sitting at this table.
Well, no, that's not me. So that must be you.
Well, you know, it looks like it by default.
Well, that's our final fight. Andrew, been a pleasure commentating with you on this show.
Absolutely, fantastic.
So let's go see and introduce our new world champion, Mick Crossland.
ladies and gentlemen, as always, in what has been a fantastic show, please, let's show respect for both our fighters in the ring. This is the toughest sport in the world. But we do have the ICO Super Middleweight Champion of the World by way of KO in round 3. He's from the blue corner, Mick Crossland! Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this young man is going to enjoy hearing this. I have with me the new super middleweight champion of the world, Mick Crossland.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Malcolm.
Mick, and I can honestly say, I think you're one of our most popular champions. You've always been there or thereabouts. What does this mean to you now to finally realise your dream?
This means world to me. We've been working for this. I was 6-year-old when I first walked into a gym, and this is all I ever wanted to do. I'd like to thank Neil Kelly and Dale Wood. They believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. It's been an absolute privilege to work with them for this camp. Full respect to Aidan Brooks, a true champion, world champion in his own right. And thank you to all that support us. Amount of good luck and just love I've felt off everybody for this fight, and support and turnout we've had. It's been overwhelming, so thank you to everybody. It means world to me.
Now, you made us all sweat for it. A very good first round, then Aidan caught you with a beautiful punch.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're on an 8 count. You're going back to your corner. What was going through your mind?
I felt alright. I knew what I'd done. Do you know what? It was going to plan it first round. Everything was cool and I relaxed. And Aidan surprised me. He's a world-class fighter. He's been around. And at the end of the day, I was getting a little bit smug thinking it was going my way. I dropped my left hand and he was lightning fast with a heavy booming right hand. So full credit to Aidan. I dropped my guard for a second and he did the business and showed what he's capable of. So I had to go back, get some good words from my corner, get back on track, back on game plan.
Well, Andrew Tate was commentating with me and he said during the fight, watch out for Mick Crossland's left uppercut, and he can throw it from angles you don't expect, and what happens, it was a beautiful punch to see.
Yeah, I've knocked people out many times with that shot. This is first time ever I've drilled it. We drilled it for this fight, so I knew that was going to be one of the shots that had caused damage. I got a bit impatient in first round because I was landing my basics easy, so I started loading up for big shots. Aidan reminded me with that right hand that I needed to step back, get back on my jab and my lead leg and feed it in. I had a quiet second round, then came out and did what my corner told me. Third round it paid off.
Well, Mick, I can honestly say you really are one of the true gentlemen of this sport. You and I have known each other years. Everybody is made up for you. Well deserved. I'm going to say it one last time. You are the ICO Super Middleweight Champion of the world, and no one more deserving.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. It means well, especially from a gentleman like yourself. Thank you.
So many clothes I keep up in my aunt's house. Disturbing London, baby, we about to branch out. Soon I'll be looking like Prince Charles. Yeah. And there ain't nobody fresher. Semester to semester, bring the weather fresher. 20 light around my table and my dresser. these shots, I got a crazy non collection. Haters, I can't fucking hear your reception. Yeah, we bring the stars out. We bring the women and the cars out. Let's have a toast to celebration, get a glass out. And we can do this until we pass out. I never got to fly on a Concorde. I've been Southampton but I've never been to Scunthorpe. I'm fucking crazy with the kicks, call me John Claude. I'm about to be a bigger star than my mum bought. Cause every day I got a groupie at my front door. Now I drive past the bus I used to run for. Where's my fucking clip? Where's my encore? I work alone, cause I was born alone. I chips are just for fun, I'll never ever call the phone. I leave her in the club, I'll never ever pull her home. The only fucking foundation, I'm the cornerstone. Famous, I'm super known. And if your son doesn't, I bet your daughter knows. Check out my visual, check out my audio. Extra one up to go, hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, we bring the stars out. We bring the women and the cars out. Let's have a toast to celebration, get the glass out. And we can do this until we pass out.
Official. What's the hard way?